The internet loses his mind after Sony describes Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart as a PlayStation 5 exclusive. Now, why would the internet lose his mind about something like that? Why would they lose their mind about something like that? Okay, so with the debut of a new trailer for Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, there was some interesting wording at the end of the trailer, basically saying Ratchet & Clank 5. I'm sorry, Ratchet & Clank, not Ratchet & Clank 5. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is a PlayStation 5 exclusive, which led fans on popular forums such as Reset Era to start worrying that the game will come out on PC sooner rather than later. Okay. Both Sony and Microsoft tend to refer to games as console exclusives when they are on their way to the PC, but want to highlight that you can play it on the console on a console on their platform. As noted with Final Fantasy 16, Sony did that. Final Fantasy 16 is an exclusive title for Sony for a set amount of time, and then it'll show up on PC.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, that's looking like what might happen with Final Fantasy 7 Remake. I mean... But anyway, this wording has led to some concern that Insomniac and Sony are planning a PC release sooner rather than later, especially as more PlayStation games are on the way to the platform. Now, there's something to keep in mind here, because apparently on Sony's site on Steam, there's about 13 to 16 games that have not been announced that we know are coming. People have been sleuthing and spying and doing whatnot. I will save that topic for maybe another show or something like that, because we're talking about Ratchet & Clank right now. All right. But given the game uses the PS5's SSD to create unique gameplay moments, you have to wonder if the game would run on PCs without an SSD or with slower SSDs. Okay, so, that also brings up a good question, because what if what we're seeing in Ratchet & Clank is not so much the tech behind the PS5? I mean, technically, like, that SSD is also the same as, like, SSDs. Well, where's my? I always have it on standby here, because I was like, as soon as the PS5 gets unlocked, I'm gonna drop one of these bad boys in there. This thing right here.
For those not in the stream,
these NVMe SSDs. They look like a small chip, small stick of RAM, but even though the PlayStation, the proprietary one, is on board in the hardware, this is the thing you'll be able to drop into your PlayStation to expand the SSD capacity for it. And I'm waiting for Sony to turn around and say, "Hey, put it in." But anyway,
is it easy? Have you looked into that? Because I know that was always the nice thing with Sony systems back in the day, is how easy it was to drop in a hard drive.
I have yet to pop the case off of my system, but apparently it's easy to do. But the thing is, like, if you do it right now, your PlayStation system will boot up, but it will say that it has hardware detected that is not ready for, and it won't boot to, like, the menu screen.
That's what I heard, because I heard, like, it's not ready yet.
Yeah,
I imagine it just requires a firmware update to fix it. But.
Yeah, that's the plan is, but what the hell's taking them so long?
Right, yeah. Right.
All right, but anyway, it's worth noting that Sony listed Demon's Souls as a PlayStation exclusive, with a note saying that it would also come to PC, which shows the messaging from Sony isn't exactly the same every time. It would seem likely that Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart will come to PC, but we wouldn't expect it until a year or two in the future. All right. As a reminder, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart releases for PS5 on June 11th, 2021. I think this is the third time I've said that this entire show today. So I've got a question.
Ratchet and Clank.
Rift Apart.
So here's the question. Actually, there is no question. Guys, what do you think? Do you think this game is coming to? You think this game is coming to the PC? Do you think there's a possibility?
Probably not.
I don't see why not. But yeah, it's gonna be a while. To me, why is everyone panicking about it coming to PC anyways? I say as long as it's at least a little bit of exclusivity, what's the point? About after a year or two, no one's buying the game anymore unless it's like $20. It's on the greatest hits part. So why not just go ahead and sell the PC for full price when people will buy it at full price? So yeah, I don't.
Here's my thing about it. Here's my take on it, and this is not me saying that it will come to PC, but here's the way I'm feeling right now about this. Microsoft did a nice job of hopping over the fence and popping Sony in the nose of this whole ZeniMax Bethesda thing. So now Sony is starting to look a little more at avenues of making more money, generating more revenue, and getting more of their titles into other people's hands. You know, if that means muscling in on the ecosystem that's the PC, which the PC actually belongs to Microsoft, let's just say it for what it is.
Windows, yeah.
Yeah, Windows has like the biggest market share in the PC industry. It does. So, even if they're willing to take that risk and help Microsoft get royalties, because if people really want to play these games, they're going to update their hardware. They're going to buy Windows OS systems and things like that to play these games, because these games won't play on Apple, on Mac. They won't, because Mac doesn't utilize things like DirectX, for example, and things like that. And DirectX is one of the things that's needed. DirectX is just fancy architecture for how video games work and stuff like that. That's all I'm going to say about that. But my whole take on it is that Sony, I'm not going to say they're scrambling right now to try and figure things out for what they can do, but they are keeping their options open now. I think this is why these patents are starting to come to the surface. Like we talked about the patent for esports and gambling in esports tonight. We also talked about the patent to fix PlayStation Now's latency. Sony is starting to do things, and people aren't seeing the bigger picture here. Now, the reason why I think the internet's losing its mind about the whole Ratchet & Clank might be coming to PC is I think this is a throwback to the console war, which really pisses me off, because I don't feel like there's been a console war since PS3, Xbox 360. I really don't think there has been,
God, that wasn't much of a war, to be honest.
It wasn't really, yeah, for real.
Microsoft stomped all over Sony, like
exactly. But I think people are just way too tribal about. If I can play a game anywhere I can, and be comfortable for me, whether that's on the PC, and everybody knows I am a PlayStation gamer that infiltrated the PC, and now I'm coming back to PlayStation. If you can play it on PC, if you can play it on the Switch, if you can play it on Xbox, if you can play it on your damn phone, why are you losing your minds about this? It makes zero sense. I thought right now, in this age of like interconnectivity with the internet, like everybody getting the opportunity to like basically experience the same thing was what the real beauty and the real victory was for this whole thing. But I don't know, I could be wrong. Like, people are maybe just too narrow-minded about this whole thing.
Well, I think there's still a little bit of that whole PC master race elitism going on, where like, PCs are the best
What did you call
to
me?
play games. You're an elitist. You're an elitist, okay? That's what I'm saying. And to answer Bratface's question, no, I'm not being nice. Bratface in the chat. Anyway, but yeah, so there is a little bit of that where there's that kind of like parlay back and forth where it's like, I play on PC, obviously we get better graphics, we get better mods, we got all this, better high quality options to play our games. And, Microsoft has seen gains with that, especially since, Game Pass is on both platforms. All their games that they come out for Xbox come out on PC. And even though PC still has a small market share compared to console gaming, there's still a significant amount of fan base that would love to play Ghost of Tsushima on a souped up PC. I mean, imagine how that would look. So I'm with you that this benefits gamers and games as a whole for Sony to port, Ratchet and Clank to the PC. Like it would just open the avenues for more fans to get into it, and that's what you want. You want more people to experience these games. You want more people to play these games, and which further helps the brand, especially if, in terms of sequels.
Also, let's look at it like this. I've said this before on quite a few episodes of Crossroads. Normally most households have a PC and one console. So it's already a roll of the dice, like which system they may have in their house. Some people have a PC and they have a Switch, which means like a lot of these PlayStation titles, they're only going to see them if they wind up on PC. Vice versa, like some people. I don't know who has a PC and an Xbox. I feel like that's okay. Do you feel like it's a contradiction sometimes? Do you?
Well, I mean, I don't honestly play Xbox games on my PC, so I don't really feel I mean, it is kind of a contradiction. Like, I have the Game Pass Ultimate package where it's like, you could play Xbox Game Pass games in your PC, and I'm like, great. I don't need to, but...
Okay. I don't know. I've always looked at it. Well, this is my thing as a PlayStation gamer, because I was a PlayStation gamer long before I was a PC gamer, and I guess I always looked at it as like if I have a PC and 98% of Xbox games show up on the PC, why do I need to buy the Xbox? That was my logic, Yeah. But I get it, because I do understand from a simple, and this is also what I learned from being a PC gamer. Games that show up on the Xbox are usually ported to the PC, and ports universally always have more problems. They don't play exactly, they don't play perfectly compared to their console counterparts,
because they're not natively developed for that system. Yeah.
Exactly, and that's kind of the roll of the dice you have to take as a PC gamer. I've also gloated how, I know for sure Cyberpunk 2077 was built for the PC, and everybody else got the ports because it plays better on the PC than it does on the consoles. But that's one of the few times where PC gamers got the one up, because I mean, when you think about games like Assassin's Creed Unity, when you think about games like even Horizon Zero Dawn had a terrible rollout, on PC, stuff like that. That's how it goes sometimes. But in all seriousness, guys, if the game comes out on more platforms to play, hell, if it winds up on a streaming service for a Nintendo Switch, and you don't want to spend $500 for a PlayStation 5, and you don't want to spend over $1,100 for a nice ass gaming PC, why are you complaining?
I mean, like we said, it benefits everybody.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not a hill I want to die on, but if I have to die on that hill, I will die on that hill. Just let you know, play your damn games, be happy, because
I will die with you beside you.
Because there was a time when like if a game was only in one place, that's where it's always going to be. Look at all the Nintendo 64 games. Look at all of them. Or worse, we get slipshod remakes on the Nintendo Switch of Nintendo 64 games. I'm looking at you, Super Mario 3D All Stars.
Yeah. He's calling shots now.
Where's Eddie?